Travis Walton is a 55-year-old paper control inspector from Snowflake, Arizona. His claim of being abducted by aliens has made him an international celebrity. He has been married for over 30 years and has 4 children. He was asked over 50 questions by a polygraph examiner. 21 have been chosen for tonight.
Travis Walton, this is your moment of truth. Travis, thank you so much for coming on the show. Nice to meet you. Have a seat. Make yourself as comfortable as you can. That's right. So at this point, before we've started the questioning, how do you feel?
Oh, a little nervous, of course.
It's an appropriate response. I'll do everything I can to help you not be nervous. I will ask you, however, I mean, people are really very eager to hear what you have to say. Do you think you're going to be able to tell the truth in front of all of America tonight?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Now, you're not only telling the truth in front of all of America, but friends and family have joined us to hear your truth as well. Let's take a moment to meet them.
Hi, I'm Dana. I'm Travis's wife.
I'm Celeste, and I'm Travis's daughter.
I'm Roy, and I'm Travis's son-in-law.
Hi, I'm Cliff, and I'm Travis's son.
I'm Ken, I'm Travis's friend.
Glad to have all of you here. What a beautiful family, Travis.
Thank you.
Now, here on the Moment of Truth, we ask very personal questions, and specifically given Travis's story, it can get very personal. Are you guys ready for this?
Yep. Yeah, we're ready.
How about you, Travis? Are you ready?
As ready as I'm going to be.
Well, let's go for it then. Travis, level 1 has 6 questions in it. If you can answer all 6 of those truthfully, you win $10,000. Remember, if you're ever concerned about the answers you gave on your polygraph exam, you can change them tonight. Okay?
Okay.
We have a few questions to start our game here that are not about the reason that you're here, not about the alleged alien abduction, but are more a chance for us to get to know you a little bit before we go there, okay?
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about your job.
Oh, I'm a quality control inspector. I work at a paper recycling plant, and I just check out the incoming materials.
Question 1. Have you ever called in sick for work when in fact you just wanted the day off?
No.
You never have.
That answer is true.
He's not like all of us. I'm impressed, Travis. I've not only called in sick for me, I've done it for many of my friends. Do you have a lot of close friends?
I think so.
One of them is here on the couch. Ken, would you consider yourself a close friend?
Yeah, very close. For 40 years.
40 years, wow. Question 2. Have you ever committed a crime and let someone else take the blame?
No.
That answer is true.
That's 2 truthful answers, 4 more, $10,000. What was it like growing up in the Walton family?
Well, I was one of 6.
Just like on the television show, huh?
Yeah.
Close family?
Yes.
And how were mom and dad?
I didn't know my father too well. My parents were divorced when I was young, but
I see.
I had a wonderful mother.
Question 3. When you were a child, did either of your parents discuss UFOs or extraterrestrials?
Yes.
That answer is true.
3 right. 3 more, $10,000. Do you remember what they talked about?
I had a brother that had a sighting years before, and so it came up on occasion, but no, not a dominant topic.
Okay. You live in Snowflake, Arizona?
Yes.
Is there much to do for recreation in Snowflake?
Not a lot. It's getting better. We got a stoplight here a while back.
Wow. Question 4. Have you ever used drugs for recreational purposes?
Yeah, a little bit. Yes.
That answer is true.
That's 4 truthful answers. Celeste, are you aware that your father had had that experience in his life?
When I was little, I didn't know, but now I do.
Question 5. Do you believe the U.S. government is covering up evidence that UFOs actually exist?
Very much so. Yes.
That answer is true.
5 truthful answers, one more, $10,000. So you believe that things like Area 51 and other incidences like that, there's truth in that?
Yes.
How about on the couch there?
I think it's probable. I mean, that it's likely that they're covering stuff up.
Yeah.
To some degree or another.
When Travis said the answer to this question, the audience clapped. You guys believe that there's a cover-up, audience? Do you think this whole experience, the abduction and all that's come since in the 30 or some odd years of scrutiny, do you think that's affected your health at all? I don't know how I would fare as well with that kind of scrutiny and people, quite frankly, thinking I'm nuts from time to time, which I'm sure you've run across.
Well, I'm sure in the immediate aftermath there were some stress effects that were pretty intense, but in the long term,
not so much.
Not so much.
Okay. Here's your $10,000 moment of truth. Question 6. Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental disorders?
The moment of truth will continue. The moment of truth continues.
Question 6. Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental disorders?
Technically, I'd have to say yes, but I'll need to explain.
Okay, let's find out if that's true.
That answer is true.
Well, that's worth $10,000, Travis, so congratulations. Would you like to explain that?
Well, one of the psychiatrists who witnessed my regressive hypnosis concluded that I was telling the truth. But since he did not believe in UFOs, he had to come up with something to rationalize this in his opinion. So he claimed that I had a transitory psychosis and had a delusion that this occurred to me. What he didn't explain was how my 6 co-workers had the same delusion.
A collective delusion.
Yeah. Well, right after that, I went through a battery of psychiatric examinations and had a perfectly normal pattern of scores with those experts.
Well, you've answered 6 truthfully, and I appreciate you answering them. $10,000 is yours if you leave, but that's not really why we're here. Certainly you can leave, just like any participant we've had on the show. Would you like to stop, or would you like to continue?
Continue.
Go. Continue.
Go.
Five more truthful answers. We turn that $10,000 into $25,000. Question 7. Prior to your abduction, had you ever seen a UFO?
Yes.
That answer is true.
So far, you've been perfect. 7 truthful answers. So, what did you see?
I saw some things that were not distinct enough for me to fully identify. To all the appearances, to me, it was something unconventional, not anything ordinary.
When was this?
Many years before, so you know.
Question 8. Do you think extraterrestrials are actively observing humans here on Earth?
Yes.
That answer is true.
8 truthful. 3 more, we're at $25,000. Do you have dreams about your abduction?
Not so much anymore.
But have you ever?
Yes.
You have, yeah.
He used to have nightmares right afterwards.
What's that, Dana?
He had nightmares for a while.
Did you know him when this happened?
I knew him.
But you weren't married at that
We weren't
point.
married at that time.
What did you think when you first heard the story?
Well, you know, my brother, and I knew most of the guys on the crew. You believe people that you know.
6 people
But,
on that crew.
yeah.
All had the same exact story.
Mm-hmm.
Question 9. Do you believe that it is possible that your entire abduction experience may have been a hallucination?
No.
That answer is true.
That says quite a bit. So this whole experience must have really put Snowflake on the map.
Yes.
Yeah?
Very much so. Sort of divided the town.
How did it divide the town? You had believers and non-believers?
Yeah. Sometimes right down the middle of marriages. One partner believed and one didn't.
Question 10. Do you think most people in your hometown believe you were abducted by aliens?
No. No, not most of them.
That answer is true.
10 truthful.
However, I
Yes.
think the percentage of people that believe has increased over time, not gone down. So, you know, as more of the true facts
Yes.
came out, belief increased.
Travis, I sit here and I think of how many years you've lived with this and how many people, certainly in 1975 and through the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, cynics and skeptics will say things that have got to be hurtful. This could not have been a fun ride for you.
It certainly thickened my skin, but, you know, some of it still gets through.
Brings me to this question. It's worth $25,000 and it is a pretty personal question. Okay, shall we continue?
Okay.
Question 11. Do you sometimes feel as if your abduction experience ruined your life?
The moment of truth will continue. The moment of truth continues.
Okay, shall we continue?
Okay.
Question 11. Do you sometimes feel as if your abduction experience ruined your life?
Yes, absolutely.
That answer is true.
Well, congratulations, that's $25,000. And that is yours to keep. Dana, you've known him all your adult life, essentially. How do you feel hearing that admission?
Kind of shocked, but I know he probably does feel that way at times.
I don't think there's anybody watching who couldn't understand that. You want to elaborate on that at all and tell us what it's been like for you?
Well, you know, in order to cope with things, you got to look for the good in everything. But so, you know, I know that I've gained some insight and some understanding that maybe nobody else knows. But at the same time, at a price no one would willingly pay.
I certainly understand that. Celeste, as his daughter, you've had to witness this and probably bear the brunt of it yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Can't have been easy.
No, it was sometimes hard when I was a kid in school, and you know, the other kids that, you know, their parents probably told them that my dad made up some story. And
Cliff, you're the oldest.
Right.
Do you remember when you first discovered that there was this story and this was your father's legacy and there were certain people that believed and certain people that didn't?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't remember exactly what point, but you know, I grew up with it, and yeah, it caused some, you know, teasing, but I always just thought it was amazing. You know, I know my dad's character, and he's just a down-to-earth guy, honest guy, and I totally believed him. So
you've answered 11 truthfully. That's $25,000. It's your money, but we can't add to it 4 more truthful answers. We get to $100,000, and in this next section, we're going to ask some very specific questions. Questions about that day in 1975. So would you like to continue?
I'll go forward.
Okay. I think at some point you have to know your own truth regardless of what people think. I would imagine, however, the credibility of your story has been a constant fight in your life.
Yes, it never ends.
And that every aspect of you as a person is under scrutiny.
Yes.
We asked some of those questions here tonight.
Yes.
Before we get to the next question, can you tell us what happened in your own words that day?
Well, it was just a crew of guys that put in some hard work in the woods and were headed home in the evening. And,
what were you doing? Were you logging?
Well, we were cutting trees for fire control.
Okay. So you'd worked a long day, now you're heading home and you're in a pickup truck?
Yeah, it was a double cab truck, so
Sure.
all 7 of us fit in one truck.
And it's nighttime?
Yes. We saw this object glowing through the trees. First, we didn't know what it was, but when we got closer where we could see it, boom, there it was. It was unmistakable. Less than 100 feet away, it was this object hovering there.
What was the shape of the object?
It was a disc-shaped metallic object outlined against the sky. So I threw open the door, headed towards it, kind of showing off, being a hotshot in front of the rest of the crew, and I got too close.
What happens then?
Well, I could hear this sound as I got closer, but when I got right up there, suddenly the sound got louder, and it started to move and rise up a little bit. And so I jumped for cover. There was some logging debris there. I got down behind a log, and those guys were yelling at me to get away from there. Some of them were swearing, and they were pretty excited. You know, they wanted to split. And by then, I was pretty terrified myself. I realized what a dumb thing that was to do.
Yeah.
So I made up my mind to get the hell out of there. And so I raised up, got ready to sprint, and just as I straightened up, boom. Those guys said they saw a blast of energy come out of that thing that just threw me back through the air.
Question 12. Did you drink any alcoholic beverages on the day you were abducted by a UFO?
The moment of truth will continue. The moment of truth continues.
Question 12. Did you drink any alcoholic beverages on the day you were abducted by a UFO?
You know, there's times I wish I could say that's what it all was. I just got too much. But no, I didn't have a drop.
That answer is true.
That's 12. You talk about the fact that there are 7 of you and 6 crew members in this double cab truck, and you were the only guy who jumped out of the truck and ran towards the saucer. Boy, if you had that to do over again, I'm sure you would have done it differently.
Absolutely.
And given that, here comes question 13. Have you ever wished that any of your coworkers were abducted instead of you? Ken, what do you think about that question?
I'm sorry I didn't run over there with him.
Is that right?
Yeah, it would have been an experience of a lifetime. He doesn't agree.
I bet you didn't think that back then.
Yeah, I see the whole thing in a positive light.
But then again, Ken, you've had 35 years where you could say it wasn't me. So the question is on you. Have you ever wished that any of your coworkers were abducted instead of you?
I'll have to admit, yes, anybody but me.
That answer is true.
13 truthful. You need 2 more truthful answers to get to that $100,000 mark. And like I said, it ratchets up as we get further and further. You okay?
Yeah.
Taking some deep breaths. You know, one of the things that is certainly intriguing and also something I respect about you, Travis, is that you're here. Your story has been the same since the day it happened. And as many people as there may be that believe you or are supportive of you, I would say for everyone that supports you, there've got to be 10 that have told you that you're absolutely nuts. And that can't be fun. As a matter of fact, there are so many skeptics, there are even magazines based on the whole purpose of debunking these stories. That can't sit too well with you.
No, it doesn't. And I think the arch skeptic is as illogical as the true believer.
Fanatical believer.
Fanatical believer, yeah.
Shall we continue?
Yes.
Okay. This question won't be asked by me. It's by a surprise guest. His name is Michael Shermer. He's the co-founder of Skeptic Magazine, and he has a question for you. Let's welcome Michael out right now. Hello, Michael. Okay, Michael, your magazine is called Skeptic Magazine. The whole point is to prove these stories to be false. This is a question from Michael to you. You answer truthfully. You're still in the game. Michael, question 14.
Travis, do you have any evidence to support your claim of being abducted?
I'd say there's piles of it, yes.
That answer is true.
You bet. Congratulations, that's 14th truthful.
I want to say I like Travis very much as a person, but extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Travis's story is an extraordinary claim. The evidence is just his word.
The Geiger counter readings, the electromagnetic readings, that's physical evidence. You can't hold it in your hand, but the skeptical investigators made these assessments, and all the witnesses, that's evidence.
But we do know that you had been fantasizing and thinking about UFOs and aliens long before that experience. That makes me suspect that it's in your mind.
I'd like to ask you a question. Have you read my book?
Yeah, I just don't accept it. I think it's possible that you just made up the story. I hate to say it.
I sure wish that we had a piece of the spaceship, and you know who else would wish it more than you or I? Travis Walton, who's have to live through this story for 35 years. Michael Shermer, I thank you very much for coming here and representing your point of view and asking a question. Thank you.
Well, that was a surprise.
It was a surprise, but you know we have surprises, my friend. That's one of the things we're good at. Let's continue. You've answered 14 truthful. If you answer the next question truthfully, it's $100,000. Now, regardless of what happens, you have $25,000 for your time here. I thank you again for sharing your story with us. This is a $100,000 moment of truth, and that's not going to be an easy softball of a question. If you decide to stop right now, then it's left for our audience to make the decision based on what they know of you, Travis, if your story is true or not. If you want to stop now, I certainly would understand. If you'd like to answer this question, I'll be happy to indulge you. What do you think here, guys?
I think you should do it.
Even if it should come up and the answer be something you don't expect it to be.
It's scary. I mean, he's putting his reputation on the line, you know. But his story has been the same, and if it comes down to this is his time. I think you should do it.
Dana?
I think you should do it.
Celeste?
Yes.
Okay.
Question 15. Were you abducted by a UFO on November 5th, 1975?
The moment of truth will continue.
This is the moment of truth.
What happened on November 5th, 1975? Well, Travis Walton has told us a detailed account. You can read his book. What is the title of the book?
Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky. Also a movie based on his story, and basically he says he was driving with 6 crew members from a day of work where they saw a flying saucer, and he jumped out of the truck, and the next thing was witnessed by Ken and others that a beam of energy or light hit you, and you believe that you were abducted, and Ken believes that you were abducted by aliens for that period of time. So we asked that question. Question 15 is simply this. Were you abducted by a UFO on November 5th, 1975?
Yes.
That answer is false.
Well, Travis, I told you at the very beginning of this show that I'm not a skeptic. And so I try not to judge or root one way or the other, but I was really hoping that this answer was a true answer. All I will say to you is that when asked this while strapped to the polygraph machine, it was deduced that your response was conclusively deceptive. Sadly, I'll say that the $100,000 you stood to win by answering truthfully is not yours, but I will happily say that by having the courage to face us and be here and answer these questions, 14 of which you answered truthfully, we have $25,000 for you. Is there anything, Travis, you'd like to say before we say goodbye?
Well, the polygraph is 97% accurate, not 100, even in the best of cases.
Travis, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for getting the opportunity for us to hear your story. You can go spend time with your family. Well, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on The Moment of Truth. Good night, folks.
Don't worry about it.
Man, just what you're afraid of, huh?